Welcome, welcome, welcome. And welcome to my channel. My name is Laura, aka Perplexed or Perplexed QT. If you are new to my channel, welcome. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. And let's get right down to it. So tonight I will be interviewing or speaking with Samantha Ricks. I'm going to tell you guys all about who she is and how she's a big part, like probably one of the biggest parts of this entire case. For those of you that don't know, didn't watch my last video, why this case rings like so home with me per se, hey Kim, is because my second home is Iowa, and that's where this case was. So my son right now is with his dad in Iowa, and it's something like hits me at home because of that. So welcome all of AB's people, Tiffany's people. And normally I don't really cover too many missing children for obvious reasons. Whoops. Oh, that's her. Hey. Hold on. I have to get my headset working. Whoop. Speaker. All right. There we go. I'm here. How you doing?
I'm okay in a bit of a rainstorm.
Oh, that's not good. So, do you want to try to come on video? Or you just want to do it on the phone?
I can come on video. I'm pulled over on the side of the road.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, so I'm here for a little bit.
Okay. Not a problem. So, all right. So I have so many questions from beginning to end, but since what? Hey, no, I meant video on camera, on different on my phone. It's all right. It's all right. Don't worry about it. But here's my question though. Like, how did the whole thing start? Like, I was just watching a phone interview. I mean, an interview you did with the news. And you had said that he was very close with his family. And well, I can go on video. I look like shit too, but that he was very close with his family. And you said that he was like his other leg. That he was like her other leg. So you really said nothing but positive things about them. And like, what's the timeline? Like, in your word, what happened?
Well, I mean, so I came into this. It was 4:17 p.m. when Sarah had called me the first time.
Okay.
And she had asked me to go check if I would run out to Kentucky's, which is her ex-boyfriend.
Okay.
And they call him Kentucky, but that's James Lowe.
Yes, and he's in jail or something, or got arrested.
Yeah, he's in jail for a prior case.
Okay.
That's not related to Xavier.
Okay.
Apparently, they've been looking for him for a while.
Aha. Okay. So that's why everyone. Okay. But that's why everyone was excited that he was in jail, because I noticed that in the Facebook group. Like, they were kind of excited he was in jail. I'm like, okay, who is this guy?
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, apparently they've been looking for him for a while. Let me see here. They arrested him an hour before Xavier's vigil that we had on Monday night after he went missing.
Wow.
And they confiscated, I don't know where my folder is. Must be in the house. They confiscated the camper, the phones, all of that from Stephanie as well.
Okay.
I personally don't believe that. I don't think they had anything. I can't see either one of them hurting Xavier. Any bit of relationship I seen with them was nothing but love.
Okay.
And I know that James Lowe and Xavier had a spot in his heart, you know?
Okay.
And Sarah, I honestly, I can't see Sarah hurting him purposely. Now, accidents happen, you know, and that's why they're accidents. But, you know, if something did happen, if it was an accident, I just hope that whoever or whatever, you know, can get through this. There's people that, you know, just somebody knows something and somebody needs to say something.
Right now, the reward for information
What?
about a missing Eastern Iowa boy has gone up again.
That was one of the news reports I was looking at. It just kind of popped on by itself. All right.
Yeah. And so it's, I mean, I don't know. Every scenario, I've thought of every possibility. You know, I've like been, I'm Sarah. If an accident happened, what would, you know? And it, I don't know. It's the most frustrating and overwhelming feeling in the world.
But one of
and, you know, I want to proceed. Go ahead.
But as a mom, how do you not want to call the police? How do you just not, like, that should have been very first thought. Let me call the cops. And she didn't. And I can't comprehend that.
Right. And so, up until, you know, and I don't understand that. And honestly, I don't know that I ever will be able to understand a lot of things to this, but that is the first and foremost thing. I mean, that feeling that came over me when she said, you know, she wasn't going to call the cops. I've never felt that before, ever. It was the worst, scariest, horrible feeling ever. And I knew something was wrong. I knew something was wrong when I couldn't find him. I knew something was wrong when he wasn't out riding his bike in the trailer court. Now, up until just a couple days ago, I live in Montezuma, but I'm actually from the Marshalltown area.
Okay.
And up until a couple days ago, I was firm on, you know, Xavier would never run away. This kid wouldn't do this. He wouldn't take off. And I still, you know, feel that way. But then I got reminded about the Corey Brown case. You know, the little boy that had a happy home, you know, got his cell phone taken away, ran away, ended up freezing to death, you know, in the blizzard. And so it's like, well, what if he is? What if he did take off? Then he's out here somewhere. So where do we start? Where do I look? Where do I start looking? And so it's been, I mean, I don't know. It's frustrating. I know law enforcement's there. I know that they're trying. I know that they're doing whatever they're doing. But we as a community don't see that. And so that's what's frustrating us.
Okay.
Is it feels like it looks like nobody's doing anything.
Because they called off the search.
I know several people. Right. They sent us out to search one day and then nothing after that. And my thing, the first thing that came to my mind, and this is just being an outsider, not even because I'm so close to this, is, well, if you had a search on the one day and then nothing after that, what did you find?
Exactly.
Like, what did you find on that one day of search that is leading you in a way to where you don't think we need to be out here anymore?
I agree.
You know, and there's nothing. I mean, the investigators are even pretty much nothing. I'm sure somebody knows something outside of whatever happened to them. But there's not a lot of communication between the community and the law enforcement, and so that's where a lot of the bashing's coming in.
Okay.
And it's just kind of like, you know, in a way you want to get them to talk. You want law enforcement to hold a press release, but they're not going to hold a press release every couple days if they don't have any information.
That's true.
Because they're just going to be telling you the same thing, you know, the same thing. And unfortunately, that's what I feel the last 2 weeks has been. It's just they're stuck. They don't have anything. They don't know which way to go. And so that's why we haven't heard from them.
Did the mom do drugs? Did the mom do drugs or anything?
Yes.
She did.
I believe so.
Pills, meth, coke?
I can't personally. I'm not sure. I can't personally say that I'm aware of anything like that. the rumor has from everybody. That's what they say. And the trailer court. Everybody keeps putting this stigma on the trailer court. Let me tell you, I've lived in that trailer court 2 different times, and that is its own little family. And that's some of the best people I've met and had in my life.
See,
and so it doesn't matter how broke they are or how rich they are. And that's frustrating in these cases. I feel like the money and the parents and the picture of the parents is really affecting this case. It's really affecting finding Xavier. And, you know,
I agree with you, though.
I'm not too sure about, I don't know, whatever.
I had said,
I know the reward fund that we have set up.
I had said that people don't understand Iowa trailer parks. They're not like other trailer parks. Like a Midwestern Iowa trailer park like that, everybody knows each other. Everybody sees each other. Like I've lived there. Like I've seen it. Not in a trailer park, but I've seen it. And people just don't realize that about Iowa.
Yeah.
So that's why I said there's no way that this kid just disappeared.
Yeah, somebody's seen something. Somebody would have known. There's, as far as vehicle and transportation wise, there's only one way to her trailer. I mean, there's the storage units behind her trailer, but that's not, I'm going to say probably 50 feet to 100 feet at least before a vehicle would be even anywhere close. You know what I mean? So, like, the transportation and all that.
Okay.
Is, I mean, I thought of everything. I've read through every scenario in my head. It's crazy.
What are other neighbors saying?
I don't know. What are other neighbors saying?
Yeah, like what are the other neighbors saying? Do they think there's foul play? Do they think?
Well, the other neighbors, you know, nobody knows. And that's, you know, I talked to the people that live directly across the driveway from her, which is one little gravel strip, and then their trailers. And her neighbors, which is their daughter Chloe, is friends with Xavier. All of our children have played together.
Okay.
And nobody heard anything besides the argument at 8:00. They see the vehicle that was in the driveway, and that was, so I believe, Stephanie and James Lowe. I don't know if James was there himself that night, but Stephanie said that she was there. She's the last person I know of that's seen Xavier physically besides Mom.
Okay.
And she said that was around 9 p.m. She left. And around 11, Sarah said Xavier was going to bed. And then nothing until 11:30 when she got the knock on the door or whatever. I still don't know who was at the door. She answered the door, and that's when she realized that Xavier was at home. She called another couple between 1 and 2 p.m., asked if Xavier was there. They said no alarm, no flag was raised.
This was on Thursday.
Then, I didn't hear anything until she called me after 4.
And this was on Thursday?
Yep, and she didn't call me until after 4. What was that?
Because what I read, I think it was
Wednesday
the
night,
Facebook
Wednesday
groups
night.
that Wednesday they heard, and nobody has seen him since Wednesday, but yet he was always playing in the mornings, and he wasn't there in the mornings. Like it's Thursday morning, nobody saw him, which was very odd.
Right, nobody. There's not one person in that trailer court that seen him Thursday. Not one. And according to what Mom told me, not even with her. Because she said she seen him at bedtime at 11, woke up and answered the door at 11:30.
Wow.
So that's what I consider. I consider him gone from like 11 p.m. Like he went missing between 11 p.m. and 11 a.m. Pretty much.
But is she believable?
I don't know her all that well. Like I can't even really, I'm not going to say friends. You know, I met her through a mutual landlord, 3-4 years ago.
Okay.
And our sons hit it off, and Kyle and Xavier they've been friends. And Xavier comes over and spends the night. He goes camping with us. He's been to all my kids' birthday parties. I mean, he's just kind of like, you know, anytime that we got something going on, I try to snag up Xavier.
Wow.
Like,
so let me ask you this. Is it possible that, all right, I'm going to make this like a two-part question. Is it possible that she killed him and wanted to get rid of him because there's a new boyfriend and she moved the next day? Or is that scenario so far-fetched that it's not real?
I can't see that at all.
Okay.
I can't see her purposely hurting him. I can't. Like, she loved him. I mean, you know, but like I said, you know, accidents happen. You hear of the craziest accidents happening all the time. And at this point, I don't know. You know, I mean, I haven't known anything from when I first knew something was wrong. You know, I just knew something was wrong and I didn't even realize it until I was actually driving back into town. She called me and asked me to go check James Lowe to see if Xavier was with them. She couldn't get a hold of them on the phone. Within 10 minutes, me and Kyle were in the car, my son, and we're driving. It's like 3 or 4 miles outside of town, so it took me less than 10 minutes to get there. And I knocked on the door, on the camper door. Nobody answered. So then I left a note telling them, hey, Xavier's been missing since this time. It is now this time. Call me. And left my phone number, and, well, they never did end up calling me. But as I was driving back into town, I was kind of like, man, why did Sarah send me out here? Because there's no way Xavier would ever walk out here. There's no way he would ever attempt to just take off walking out here.
Yeah.
His bike has a foot apart. Like, this is not a physically active child. He complains about his I don't want to say lazy.
Okay.
But
he's 11.
You know, he's not he's not physically active. So, you know, if you go for a walk, you know, quarter mile, he's gonna be whining and complaining.
Okay.
So he ain't about to go trekking off in the woods like that, you know? And then, you know, you got the runaway theory. I don't necessarily want to say runaway, but, you know, he could very well have gotten upset and went for a walk, you know, wandered off for a minute. That's not Xavier. Xavier's never done that. He's never, you know, talked about running away. But you got to be open to that, just, you know, the one time, you know. And then, you know, we sit so close to Interstate 80. That's terrifying.
Yeah,
we're 8 miles. 8 miles from Interstate 80.
Nah.
You know how much ground you can cover on
an
interstate
do.
like that?
I do.
No time?
I do. And Interstate 80 goes, you might as well travel the whole world because it's just one road that'll take you from one side of the country to the other. I get it.
Yes. And, you know, that's scary because, you know, by the time I reported it to the police, I estimated that's 20-hour window.
Yeah.
20 hours, you know, of whatever the possibilities of whatever happened, you know? And I don't know. Like, we got volunteers that are still actively out searching on their own, in their own little groups. The reach out that we've had, I call them Xavier's angels. These ladies are tremendous. You have to forgive me if I start crying. But after I started reaching out to the community and started talking about all these guys, these little ladies started hitting me up on Facebook and reaching out to me on Messenger, like, hey, what can we do? What can we do?
Aww.
And I'm like, I don't know what to do, you know? And next thing you know, we've got signs up everywhere. We've got posters. We've got flyers. We've got billboards. He's hitting the front page of newspapers. He has hit every local news channel. He's hit most national news channels at least once.
Yes.
Like, I had a family from Japan call me.
Aw, that's awesome.
Thoughts and prayers, and I was like, oh my God, like, buddy, I was just trying to get you, like, around the neighboring towns, because we're a small town surrounded by a bunch of small towns.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, tiny towns. So, you know, I'm, like, just trying to reach out and get in space. You know, I never imagined that I would get the outreach and get him as far as I did. And I'm so grateful and thankful for everyone that has helped. And most of the ladies don't want to be named because, but
well, I'll be down. I'll be there in a couple of weeks, in another 3.5 weeks. I would love to meet up with you, grab some flyers. I'll put them all over Davenport, Quad Cities, because that's where I'll be. So I'll definitely come up there and hook up.
Yeah, that'd be for sure. That'd be great. I mean, we've got it to where we've got trucking companies that are putting them on the sides of their semis. He's up at every truck stop. We've got some people in states that we are mailing flyers out. Like, we are copying them, packaging them up, mailing them out. We got T-shirts and buttons. Here's one of his buttons.
Aw.
That's my favorite one.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then we got this one here.
Aw, hold on. Let me show those since I'm on my phone. Hang on. All right. Oh, let's see.
How's that?
There we go. Aw. That's awesome.
So yeah,
Not the
we've
clearest.
got T-shirts. And all proceeds go to we've got two companies that are doing the T-shirts and the buttons, and the other company does the flyers, posters, and the signs. We've got magnets for your cars.
Right on.
I think it's done raining. If it's done raining, my 6-year-old calls my truck the Xavier mobile.
Aw.
So, because here we got, see if I can. Okay, see this?
Aw. Yeah, let me show
That's
it.
our back window.
Hold on, let me get this green screen off. Hold on. All right. That should be better. A little clearer. You there?
Yeah.
All right. I thought we froze.
Oh, but yeah. I got, orange was his color, so we have orange ribbon.
Aw.
And then, we've got, you can't see it from where I'm at right now, but if you drive through town right now at night, the orange porch lights that light up are amazing.
Aw.
We've got the hardware store here in town. This is stupid. I got a new truck, but I don't know how to work it yet. The lights and everything are going crazy. But yeah, the hardware stores donated orange light bulbs, and so you can go in and you can get them. They're free, but most of them have donated. And I know last week in 3 days he had raised almost $3,000 for the reward fund just in light bulbs.
Wow, that's awesome.
We had a little girl that had a lemonade stand right here in town for Xavier, and she raised almost $400 on a lemonade stand.
Aww.
So, I mean, I had one of Xavier's friends, Liam, message me today asking if, we had heard anything, if we knew anything. And he was just like, man, I really hope he comes home back soon. He's like, I missed him. He's so funny. Like, I know he is. Like, Xavier's such a bright young soul. I mean, a beautiful soul. He's joyous. Joy is the biggest word that I can put Xavier into is joy. So it doesn't matter. That little boy comes around and you just feel joy, happy and comforting and loved, and just, I mean, his smile's tremendous. His laugh is great. I mean, he's awesome. This sucks. This sucks so much.
See,
I have a 6-year-old.
Let me ask you a question. Then I'm going to play the news article so people can see like who you are, like, and how you're involved in all this. But have you spoken besides, and I'm going to get into the text messages, but have you spoken to Mom before this blew up? But after the initial?
No. I actually, believe it or not, The only message I had seen about in regards to me was the ignorant and pathetic one up until as of 2 days ago. 2 days ago is the first time that I was able to see the other messages she put about the whole color and everything.
Okay.
And neither one of them would let me respond. Well, I think maybe the one did. But I don't know. She must have blocked me or something. But I was in contact with Sarah up until 4 days after Xavier went missing. I mean, every few hours I was checking in with her on everything I was doing. And then all of a sudden, nothing. Absolutely nothing. No, she wasn't responding to my phone call. She wasn't responding to my text messages. Nothing. Well, then I come to find out that's when the police had taken the phone. And I'm not sure when she got her phone back or if she got another phone or what. But I have not heard or seen her since 4 days after Xavier went missing. And, like, I know everyone copes with things differently. Everybody reacts to things differently. Nothing has been right. Nothing has been
I agree.
Understandable. Nothing has been excusable. I mean, nothing. The first night, Thursday night, me and my little boy, we were out. Kyle finally fell asleep. It was after 2 o'clock in the morning. He finally fell asleep in the backseat of my car because we were out looking for Xavier. And I came home and I tucked him into bed, and my brother came over to sit here while I went out and looked. And I called Sarah and I told her, hey, I said, I'm freezing. I'm going to bundle up. I'm going to warm up. I'm going to grab something quick to eat. I'm going to get back out there and look for him some more. And she says, we're on the phone, and she says, don't worry about him anymore tonight, Sam. Get some rest. Call me when you wake up.
Like, who says that? I'd be like, oh my God,
You would never hear me tell anybody to stop looking for my child.
Exactly.
Never.
Exactly.
So and that was the end of the phone call.
That's the one part of it. No, there was no Amber Alert. That's the one part of this that I sat there, especially when I read the timeline. I'm like, I don't understand. If that was my kid, I would be mad if people were not out there 24/7. Like, I don't care if you sleep or not. Help find my child.
When it comes, so Sarah's disability. I'm not sure if she has diabetes or if that's what had caused, her leg to be amputated. I believe she has some kind of genetic disorder that caused it. But her nub, she has been fighting it's the grossest, sickest infection I've ever seen in my life.
Okay.
She's been battling it for, probably a good 3 to 6 months at least. Like, I've actually kind of gotten on her a few times when I did see it. Like, hey, you really need to get to the doctor and take care of yourself. You got to get that taken care of. That's gross. So where she has not been able to put on her leg. A lot of the pictures that people are talking about on Facebook and all that, those are prior pictures to the infection.
Okay.
So it's a lot different when, she's got an infection in the, it'd be like tip of your finger and then you try to shove something on it,
Okay.
That's what her leg. But personally, it didn't matter how many legs I had. I would be dragging myself across the ground.
I agree.
I'd be in a cart making somebody push me. I would put a family member at my home in case he came home. And there's no way. Like I said, everyone copes differently. There's no way I could just sit at home locked up like that.
I agree.
And not do anything, not say anything, not one. I love you, Xavier. Come home. Xavier, I miss you. If you have my son, let him come home.
Yep.
Nothing. Nothing.
And how did she move the next day?
What was that?
How did she move the next day?
She didn't move the next day. It was, I want to say maybe a week ago she moved.
Okay. How'd she move right away?
And she was up for eviction long before Xavier went missing. The landlord's been trying to get her out. I know that she even put a COVID sign on her door, I think, trying to trick him off for a little while longer.
Ah, okay.
So, yeah, the eviction was up long before all this. She knew this. She was even late on supposed to be now.
So all right. So that opens up another possibility. What if they did something to Xavier, or they're hiding Xavier in order to buy time for more rent. Maybe are they like, who's the boyfriend? Because that's
I don't know. I don't know the boyfriend. He was never mentioned to me by Sarah at all. Never, not one time. I didn't know anything about him. I do know. What's his name? There's 2 sex offenders that are registered to the trailer court, and then apparently there's 2 more. And I haven't been able to get any more information as far as details on names of those. One of them, actually, I had see if I can figure this out. How do I pull up a screenshot? Well, anyways, I have a screenshot of this guy that was that question. Apparently, Sarah had an incident with him. He had broken into her trailer prior to Xavier going missing, which I can't tell you anything on time related as far as how long before.
Okay.
But I know it was a matter of like 2 or 3 weeks. This gentleman had apparently broken into Sarah's trailer and tried to sexually assault her. And so when she told me, my first question was, you reported it, right? Well, she told me she did, and apparently she had told other people the same thing. She never reported it. The police didn't know anything about it.
Wow.
This is also the same guy, and I'm not pointing fingers. This is just, this is also the same guy that the next day, I believe, or it was either the next day or the day after, 2 days after the attempted assault or whatever happened, that Xavier was inside the gentleman's trailer, to where Sarah had to call another person to come over to go get Xavier out of that trailer. And my thing as a mom, why didn't you report that?
Have the cops looked into that?
The cops didn't know anything about any of this until, they weren't aware of these 2 incidences at all.
Wow.
And so it's like, but listen, the law enforcement was amazing when they first jumped in on this. They were on him. They pretty much had surveillance outside his trailer for like 24 hours.
Wow.
Because I told him right away, what is going on here? Yep. Stupid truck. But it's just been... I think I got to figure it out now. It's like you open the door, you got to turn the light switch, and these lights shut off. And, yeah.
It's okay.
I'm in my driveway. You guys will have to forgive me. I have 4 children and 4 kids. And so in my truck right now in my driveway is the sense of quiet I get to do things like this.
It's all right.
So yeah, and I mean, as a mom, it just, nothing's right. Nothing's right. And the first couple of days I stopped over there, every couple hours, she always seemed to be sleeping. And like, everybody copes different, but... Your son is
missing and you're sleeping?
Right, I couldn't sleep. To where then I became concerned about, drug use. And I even mentioned it to one of the detectives, look, I just want to bring it attention because the last thing I want is for this mother to have an accident when we bring her son home.
It's true.
And so I don't know. There's a lot of things with her ain't right. And then, like the social media, the response to her thing from that one lady was, she's right. You can get on there and you can correct his favorite color, but you can't get on there and plead for him and tell the world that he's missing, But why? I don't get it. I don't get it.
It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. But what I want to do is take 2 minutes. I just want to play this news report that you were in. But then I want to go through the timeline. So hold on.
There were weekly screaming matches between Xavier Harrelson and his mom, Sarah. Her son was reported missing 6 days ago. KCRG TV9's Ethan Stein is live at the Spruce Village Trailer Park where Xavier was last seen and tells us more about the role that he plays in his mother's life. Ethan?
Nicole Beth, the Iowa Division of Criminal Investigation, clarified that it was a neighbor, not the mother, who originally reported Xavier Harrelson missing. Neighbors say they heard the missing 11-year-old boy and his mom argue often in the home where only 2 people lived there on the back trailer of trailer number 8. Police dogs searched their home again yesterday. They also searched the whole mobile home community as well. We spoke with the person who reported Xavier missing. She knows Xavier's mom, Sarah. She says the mom is an amputee who has trouble putting on her prosthetic leg. That means her 11-year-old son acted as her caretaker.
Things that she can't do, he helps with, and Xavier knows that. And he knows that, he's not just her son, that he's her other leg.
Rick says Xavier was close with his mom. She says the relationship was full with plenty of love. However, at the same time, neighbors say the yelling was sometimes so significant that Xavier would sometimes try to go to another trailer in the mobile home park community to try to get away. We did ask DCI if they were aware of the situation. They did say they were aware of the situation at home, but could not confirm or deny any specific information. Live in Montezuma, Ethan Stein, KCRG TV9 News.
Here is another look at Xavier Harrelson. Again, anyone with information should call the Poweshiek.
Yes, that's the lady that I'm on the phone with, Samantha Ricks.
County Sheriff's Office at the number you see here on your screen, 641-623-2107.
Now, walk me through the timeline, how this went down. So he comes up missing. He calls you. I'm sorry, she calls you. Have you seen him? This was Wednesday. So Thursday, by the time Thursday comes, nobody's seen him.
No, Thursday is when she calls me. Thursday is when he was reported missing.
Okay. So Thursday she calls you, and then Friday she doesn't even care to look for him.
Right. She doesn't care. Well, yeah, she doesn't. Nothing.
Do you think that the cops gave up because she didn't care? Do you think it was a drug addict, we don't give a shit kind of thing? Did he have any kind of was he autistic or anything, or any?
No, he wasn't. Coming from a history of being on the wrong side of the tracks, and personal experiences, looking at her lifestyle and her choice in company, I don't think that she wasn't big enough to mess with anybody that I think would be child worthy. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, she was probably just a personal, high user.
Okay.
Not anything to where somebody would harm a child or involve a child.
Why? All right, you knew him. Even if you weren't besties with the mom, you knew him.
Yes.
How?
I'd like to say I do, yeah.
Okay. How can, I can't fathom the thought that if he was going to run away, he wouldn't go to your house. He wouldn't go to the neighbor's house. Just like when he was looking for somewhere to sleep. If he wanted somewhere to sleep, he'd go to one of the neighbor's house. The fact that he didn't do this and allegedly just disappeared into thin air tells me that the mom has something to do with this. And I'm not a conspiracy person at all. But
if she didn't have anything to do with it, she knows something. She has to. How could you not? I'm a hard sleeper, a very, very, very hard sleeper. But I don't. How do you not know about your child for 12 hours?
I agree.
And even at 11 years old, I have an 18-year-old son in the house right now that I don't care if he's 18 or not.
Yep.
I still know where he is at all times. I still know, you know what I mean? It's like, don't get me wrong, I don't have an eye on my children every minute of every day. You can't. You know, I get that. I respect that.
Mm-hmm.
But 12 hours.
Yeah, I
agree. That's, and even minus the 8 for sleeping or whatever, that's still, like, not okay. 15 minutes of my kids being late, my heart's dropping, my stomach rolling. I'm like, what's going on? And this is even before Xavier went missing. That's just a natural response for me.
And what about this mom's Facebook page where she has her oldest son as a picture and not him? What the hell is that?
I understand that. Listen, I know the relationship between her and her oldest son have been
weird.
A bit iffy. I know he just recently moved out, or not recently, but he graduated last year, I believe, and so that's when he moved out. But I mean, I couldn't imagine what the boys have been through or seen, or and that's for growing up with parents like that myself. And for being an addict also.
Yep.
I'm
an addict. I get it.
It's a tough road. It's a tough road. And and that's what makes all of this so much crazier is that anything's possible. They say he just vanished. They don't have a clue. They don't have a bit of surveillance of him anywhere around the trailer court. So, I don't understand. I don't understand.
I don't either. What about the father? What about her other son? Is it just like, oh, okay, Xavier is gone and that's that?
So, I don't know Travis personally. I have not spoken with him or met him personally. I actually did not even hear about Xavier's father until Xavier went missing.
Oh, really?
I can confirm that Travis has been out hard. I mean, he has been out working hard, posting flyers, getting them up everywhere. As far as the media and talking to the media, I don't understand why he hasn't. But like I said, I've known Xavier and Sarah for 3 to 4 years, and I never heard about him. So I'm assuming that there wasn't much of a relationship there.
So he never even mentioned him. Xavier never mentioned.
Yeah, Xavier never talked like dad stories or when I went to my dad's house or nothing like that.
Wow.
And so that was all kind of new to me. Trying to piece together the possibilities.
So the lights went off.
It's stupid.
It's all right.
I'm old fashioned. I like the cars where you gotta manually turn them on and all that. That's driving me crazy. But I mean, it's my 6-year-old son has been the heart and soul behind this for me.
Aww.
He's been alive, him and Xavier. There's not a night that goes by that he doesn't cry or almost cry. Bedtime. There's not a minute of the day that goes by that I don't think about Xavier. Meal times, believe it or not, are the hardest for me. Because as I'm making my kids' plates and stuff, I'm always thinking, is Xavier hungry?
Aww.
What's going out there, and tuck my kids into bed, and then I worry, is Xavier cold? It sucks. It's overwhelming at times. And then, my 6-year-old, he gets on the internet on the phone, or he hears somebody talking when we're out at the store or something, and he's that sponge that's just taking everything in right now. And so then he'll be like, well, Mom, what if somebody kidnapped him? And I'll be like, no, buddy, we can't do, things like that. Stay positive. Now, what did I tell you? What I'm trying to convince my son of is I keep telling him that Xavier went out into the woods and he's trying to live off the land. And he's just lost and we have to find him.
Aww.
And I got two fears. My biggest fear is never knowing.
I agree.
My other one is if this has a bad outcome, how do I explain that to my little boy? My little boy that has been out every day looking for his friend.
Wow.
Every day hanging flyers. He choked me up a couple days ago at dinner. We say grace, and he always says his grace first, which is always like, "Dear Jesus, I love you."
Aww.
But then he was like, "God, please bring Xavier home. And if you can't bring him home to us, take him home to you."
Wow. Now you're going to make me cry. Watching you cry. Now I'm going to cry. I swear to God.
I mean, this is a 6-year-old little boy. I mean, you see my son's love for Xavier. You can just imagine the love that Xavier has for the world. Like, I went to my preacher, I went to a preacher that I've known for a few years the other day. And I think I kind of stumped him a little bit because I had to ask him, what's God's point in this? Tell me, what is the lesson that he's trying to show us? Like, why? Help me to understand, because that's the hardest thing. You know, everything happens for a reason. There's, meaning behind madness. What is that here? What does this little boy have to do with anything? Like, he's so innocent.
I agree.
He's so pure. He's so sweet. And just, yeah, I mean, he's...
Well, I also don't want you to discredit how much you've done, because without you, this search wouldn't have even started. Like, she could have moved and said that that Xavier was with Dad or something, and that's why she didn't want to call. Like, thank God that, we are here talking about it and that people do know he's missing.
I have not one time for a split second regretted reporting him missing or anything since then. I have done nothing and still continue to do nothing but try to be respectful for Xavier and his family. And I'm just doing what I am doing just as a community member, as the mother of Xavier's friend, I thought I was helping Mom. I'm sorry that Mom feels that way, or if she feels that I ever disrespected her, and that was not my intention. But that's not going to stop me. I've received threatening messages telling me to stop talking to the news.
Yeah.
I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to shut up. The world is going to hear Xavier.
Absolutely. Can I share that message you sent me earlier?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's fine.
Hold on. Because I just, as a mom of 3, I cannot even fathom that that's where her thoughts were.
Right. The only thing that she was concerned with. Yeah. And, she can get on there and she can bash me, but she couldn't put a post out about her son. Change profile picture, nothing.
So, how she, I can't with this lady. All right. So for those of you guys that don't know, the mom has been feuding at Samantha for the last, 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
Yeah.
About 2-3 weeks.
4 days after.
And for some reason, the mom, like, my personal opinion is the mom is mad that she's going to eventually get caught at what she did. But the mom wrote, and when was this post? When did she make this post?
I'm not exactly sure. It had to have been the prior week, because I just seen that post for the first time 2 days ago.
Okay.
I was able to see it.
Okay. So yeah.
And it won't let me respond. None of them would let me reply.
Instead of the mom like worrying about her kid, and she's going after Sam, saying, all right, let's get one thing straight. Our son's favorite color is the rainbow. First of all, rainbow is not a color, not orange. Sam, you couldn't possibly give any more wrong information than you have. How am I feeling? Pissed off. You're not Xavier, Christopher, Tyler, Harrelson's voice. We are. If you honestly cared, Sam Ritz, you would be looking for our son instead of 2 seconds of fame. Because if you wanted to shield Kyle or any of Xavier's friends, you wouldn't have said any of your hateful, hurtful, fake allegations for any of these children of Montezuma to read. Let me also throw in that I've checked a lot of different articles, and there was not one thing that Samantha said that was bad, ever. She's done nothing but be nice to her and, give her the benefit of the doubt, even though something in her gut tells her differently. So for her to say that, it's just like, ew, really?
Yeah, that floored me, kind of like, because everybody's like, man, did you see? No, I didn't see it, Well, so-and-so said something, they had your back. And I'm like, well, I appreciate that, but, I received a lot of thank yous. And, I keep trying to respond, with, you don't have to thank me. If that was my son, I would want I would want somebody out there doing this for me. You know what I mean? I would
agree.
want the world looking for my child. And, like when she said that we are Xavier's voice, I'm sorry, Sarah Harrelson, but I can't hear you.
Exactly.
Like, somebody has to speak up. And, me and my brother were talking. And a lot, you guys don't know me, but I'm a very loud person. I mean, I talk loud.
So do I.
Let alone when something gets me excited, And so my brother was like, what I can't figure out, Sam, is if she had something to do with Xavier or if she did anything with him, why would she call you? Why would she call loud ass Sam is what he said. And I was like, you know what, you're right, because I'm not the type to let things go. I'm not the type to, and then I got myself kind of double thinking one time, So, man, what if I would have left that trailer park and not took it seriously and not went with my gut feeling and just blew it off as not a big deal and just went home?
Yeah.
That's
what she did.
How long would he have been gone, before somebody else noticed? And that's scary, like, it just, but no, I'm not upset. I don't regret it. I don't wish that I could change anything that I have done so far. So, I go out searching. I walk around the lake and stuff a lot. I'm a busybody, and so when things bother me, I can't just sit here. And so, that's where I directed my attention to. That it helps my son deal with everything.
Hey, let me ask you a question somebody brought up, and I was going to ask you this earlier. Was he gay? Do you think that this could have caused the riff with the argument to begin with that nobody heard? Like this guy that mom was seeing, like any of that could be possibility?
I can't tell you anything on his sexuality. Me and I never had that conversation or anything like that with Xavier. So, and I haven't heard anything like that either. This is the first time I've heard anything close to that.
Only because she said rainbow. But I think of two things.
Well, I mean, he had one of those bright personalities.
Okay.
He was an energetic, bubbly young man. I can't really comment on that there. I can't tell you that I suspected that, I guess, because I don't understand how I think he might be gay when he grows up. You know what I mean?
But this is gonna sound like an even weirder question. Did he ever bury an animal? Did an animal die in his presence of that he had to bury or that he was around. The reason I'm asking is when a pet dies, it goes to the Rainbow Bridge. And I feel like maybe that's the mom subconsciously saying how he's dead because the rainbow. And that's why I thought maybe that's her alleviating her own guilt in some which way, shape, or form by saying, oh, his favorite was the rainbow. To me, when I hear rainbow, and I don't automatically think gay, I think a rainbow bridge. I think of a pet dying. And I just wonder if maybe that's why.
I've never known him to have a pet.
Okay.
So, yeah, not, as long as I've known him, he's never had a pet or any animal.
Okay.
So, and he's never talked about losing an animal. I don't think he's talked about having a pet at all.
Okay.
Ever.
All right.
No, I don't recall.
Did you ever talk about love and rainbow?
Yes. The one thing, I don't know if it's just because you know how sometimes subconsciously you don't acknowledge things that are right in front of you until something triggers it, and then you're like, hey, it happened a lot more than what I realized.
Yeah.
You would not believe the abundance of double rainbows that we have been seeing around Montezuma.
Oh, really?
Weeks.
Wow.
Like, it gives me a warm, overwhelming feeling every time I see them. I've seen a lot of the other ladies are posting pictures of the ones they see around town, But I mean, like I said, I don't know if it's something that I just didn't notice before.
Iowa does have some beautiful rainbows. I will say that. Yeah. they really do.
Just beautiful skies, sunset and sunrise. Yeah, it's beautiful. But like in a way, I kind of just want to be like, well, that's somebody letting me know that they're still good in this, or to stay positive. I'm probably reaching for anything I can grasp hold of.
That's okay though.
And it's just, yeah, like I catch myself driving and I'll go to like drive past the Diamond Lake entryway, and I'll just be like, I'll catch myself talking to myself more or less, and I'll be like, Xavier, if you're out there, buddy, just talk louder so I can hear you. Like tell me where you are. Like, let me find you. And it's just, I couldn't imagine what. I mean, I feel this is just a little boy that I know a little bit, here and there. I couldn't imagine what the feelings would be like if it was my own, and I mean, I think about him like he was my own, it feels like a part of me is missing right now.
Did anybody have, anyone have ring bells or cameras around the trailer court? Nothing? There's a
few, but I don't believe any of them were actually in the direction of her trailer. I do believe that, like, the entrance coming into because there's only one driveway into the trailer court.
Okay.
There's only one way. There's no other way you can drive in at all. And so I'm pretty sure that is caught on one camera. And I mean, as far as I know, they don't have anything. So that didn't turn up with anything. So that means either somebody that is local or he wasn't driven out of there, is my conclusion of what they've figured out there so far. The storage units behind the trailer, or behind her trailer, they sit like 50, I'm going to say like 50 to 100 feet. And I don't know about the surveillance in there, but that drive comes off of the highway, because the trailer court sits on the highway coming right into town. It's like the first thing when you pull into town, the trailer court, and then you're in town. And so when you pull in to go to the trailer court, it wides off immediately, and that'll take you back behind these storage units.
Okay.
It's a dark area back there sometimes. And I don't know as far as how much the surveillance covered on that area. But I'm assuming that it didn't turn up anything because they don't have anything. They did the scent search. They did the dive team. They did the volunteer search. But other than that, I haven't seen or heard any movement in about 2 weeks.
But is that because she moved? Do you think?
So, I don't know. Like, what I can't understand is if you don't know what happened to them, whether it was an abduction or a possible accident or whatnot, why are we not still out there looking for him?
I agree.
Actively boots on the ground looking for him.
I agree.
Investigators said that they stopped searching because the area of interest was covered. So move your area of interest.
It's got to be a money thing. It has to be. I can't imagine why they would stop looking for this little boy. Like, this is a 10-year-old boy, now 11. Like, what could have possibly... The kids just don't disappear. And you don't have any, like... You don't think anyone came in. Maybe someone in the trailer park drove him away. Like,
right.
Like, how do you not search more?
Another neighbor had brought up the scenario of, I guess there was... I'm not exactly sure who it is, but apparently there's one resident of the trailer park that drives sporadic through there at times. And she had made the comment, well, what if he accidentally hit Xavier? Panicked.
Good
point.
point.
In his car and we did something with it.
Good point.
You're right. Good point. But how do you even go about looking into that? Like, it's... Yeah, I mean, I can do this all day long. This could have happened. This could have happened. But I don't understand why. I feel like they've given up already. Law enforcement, honestly, like that's how it appears to be. I've been in contact with a few of the detectives, pretty close hand, for about the first week and a half. But since then, it hasn't been nothing. They don't have any new questions. They don't have any new nothing. And you don't even really see them in town anymore. Hardly ever. I mean, that first week, everywhere you went, they were here to nothing. The DCI agent I was in contact with, I messaged him because anything that I get on my phone, whether it's a theory or a conspiracy or scenario or a comment, I forward everything to this detective, and he had made the comment that there was another DCI agent on the team. So does that mean that you guys are out then? Like, you're not around and you're not actively on the case anymore? And so then he just forwarded me to the new detective. So then I'm sitting back thinking, well, if you guys are already pulling out, what's really going on here?
I agree.
Like, do you guys have him and you're just waiting for evidence to fall into place? Do you know something, but you have no way to prove it? Like, and I know that they can't just discuss anything with us, I know that they can't just discuss any, details or leads with us, but they got to be able to tell us something, even if it's, look, we are working on this case, just please be patient with us.
But they should, because if he was taken, you guys all live there. So, yeah, it is important.
Yeah.
I mean, I would think that you guys need to know, because, I mean, they don't know what happened. And what if he was taken? What if there's some serial killer running around the trailer park? If they don't have any answers, then I don't understand how they can act so lackadaisical.
Right. And the other thing, is, I'm a mom, and I've got a pretty tight grip on my kids on a normal basis, tighter than most, but I know for me, my kids hate me right now. Because I don't let them go nowhere. I don't let them do nothing. I told my daughter the other day, I was like, I'm not even okay with the buddy system right now. If there's not 4 of you, you're not going out. And you driving through town now, you don't see the kids out playing like you did.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see the smiles. You're not hearing the laughter of children in Montezuma anymore.
Wow.
And it's heartbreaking. It's heart-wrenching, man. That, I mean, you go to the softball games. We had the softball tournament today. I'm not even comfortable letting my 6-year-old son play on the playground 20 feet away.
I don't blame you.
You know, and so, I mean, this is affecting everybody. This is affecting everyone around us.
Yep.
This is affecting every community member. I mean, everything. And we need reassurance that, you know, and that's all we're asking for. Some reassurance that you're still working at this, that you're still trying, you know, and not just disappearing, like, is what it seems, you know, and so that's all I have been doing and continue to do is, you know, I'm not trying to push on the investigators. I'm not trying to, you know, interfere with the investigation of law enforcement at all. I 100% want to stay out of their way.
But they're not doing anything. That's the problem.
Right. And so then I'm like, well, what if I got groups together and started doing our own little searches, you know? Like, how would I even go about organizing something like that so that I don't interfere with their investigation? Because we were going to go out the night before we went out to search for the volunteers.
Okay.
I had hundreds of people that were ready to go, volunteering, that were ready to go search. The detective asked me to say no because they were ready to scent search with the scent dogs. And so, like, that's what has kind of helped me from going any further. Is because what if we would have went out and searched on our own? We would have messed up that scent search anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm scared to go out because I don't want to jeopardize the investigation. I don't want to interfere with anybody, or, you know what I mean? And there's no communication there. So that's why I was even I told the detective one day, I said, I don't care if you send me in the opposite direction of what you're looking at. Just send me somewhere.
Exactly.
Just point me some way.
I agree.
You know? And I mean, in a lot of these missing people cases, you know, it's been gone 3 weeks now.
Yeah.
Most of them, people are still searching.
Yep.
At this time. Not completely died down a week later.
I agree.
So yeah, I was just reaching out. I don't want anybody to feel like I'm applying pressure or I'm pressuring them.
Oh, we will. We are going to apply pressure because this is bullshit.
3 weeks gone. He's 11 years old. That first night he was gone, it was so cold. It was so cold out. And I'm like, I mean, the possibilities are, you know, it's a search for recovery. You know, I don't know what to expect now 3 weeks in, you know. My biggest fear is never knowing.
I agree. I said the same thing. I'd rather have a child dead than a child missing.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine. You know, I hear them stories. I had a lady that gave me some hope. She sent me her story, and her story was her daughter had gone missing, vanished, but they actually found her daughter like 2.5 years later.
Wow.
Never gave up hope. She continued to hang flyers. 2.5 years later, they got that one tip they needed, and they found her.
Wow.
And so I'm like, man, this is a lot to try to live with for 2.5 years. You know,
I hear you.
You know, gotta stay positive. Gotta stay hopeful. Because otherwise, if you don't, it'll eat you. It'll eat you alive. And you just gotta look at things that remind you of the good still in the world. You know, and I teach kids. You know, there's good in the world. The world is good, but there's also bad in the world.
Yeah.
And you have to have that guard up. You know, and know the difference between who is good and who's good to you and who does not.
I agree.
And Xavier is such a kind-hearted little boy that he is. You know, he's that type that if you pulled up to him in your car and you're like, hey, I lost my puppy. Will you come help me find my puppy? He's going to get in your car and he's going to help you go find your puppy. Like, I could see him as being easily, persuaded by someone.
Unfortunately, that could be what ultimately took him, and that's scary. I know that another, I don't want to say crime fighter, but that's the first word that came to mind. Just jumped in. His name is AB. He's been working a lot with the Samantha Wells case. I know he had some questions. AB, you there?
Hello. Thank you. Yes, I did have a couple I threw in chat, and thank you very much to the caller. What a great, she has a wealth of information. My question is, first from chat, what were the living conditions within the trailer that you know of? Was mother was disabled? So did she get around okay? Was she mobile? And that would be for a question from one of the people in chat. So I'll start with that.
When at the time of Xavier's disappearance, she had a walker that she would kind of sit on and wheel around on because she wasn't able to put her leg on. But I mean, she could move inside the trailer. I could see her pull herself across the floor on her butt. So I mean, she gets herself around.
Okay. Now, in regards to Xavier's, do you know anything about his past medical? Does he have any allergies? Has he ever had seizures before? Is he prone to epilepsy? Is there anything in his medical history that would maybe
that I'm aware of along those lines? I mean,
has he seen a doctor? Has he been? Well, he's obviously been.
That is
Has his
a question that I ask the parents anytime that a new kid does come to my home: is do they have an allergic reaction? If something happens, what do I do? You know, I have an asthmatic nephew and I have a peanut allergy niece. So, you know.
So you're sensitive to that. Yeah. Okay. Now there's one more on the tip of my tongue. It was the seizure, and there's one I just asked. So it was
Video games?
Yes. Do you know? Now he was quite young. Was he on the internet? Does he have any accounts that you know of? Is he online with like Steam accounts? Any sort of video game online?
No.
Or Roblox?
I can't say that he even had too many pieces of equipment. I know he watched a lot of movies. He never had a phone that I'm aware of. He never had a Facebook account or like that.
Now his friends in the trailer park. Sorry, you can finish if you had something. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I apologize.
No, that's it. You're fine.
Now, I understand this trailer park was quite close, and the residents are quite upset about this disappearance and distraught over it, and a little bit freaked out and terrified. What are they looking at? What are they like right at this moment in time? Like the kids have to be talking. What are they saying around the neighborhood?
Well, I've been over a few times to talk to the neighbors and even the kids. I actually sat on the porch of one of the trailers just today with a group of the kids. And it's terrifying, because nobody there knows that. Nobody's seen anything, nobody heard anything other than what's been recorded. And so I know Chloe's not riding her bike up and down the street anymore like she used to. You don't see many of the kids out like you used to. And parents have every right to be nervous right now.
Everybody will be looking out their windows constantly, just staring off into the distance, looking at things they wouldn't normally focus on. It's got to be difficult around there at this point in time. My heart goes out to them.
Yeah, the whole town is. Our whole town is affected. I mean, you drive through town and it's quiet. Like I mentioned earlier, you don't hear the laughter, you don't see the smiles, you don't see the kids running and playing anymore. And it's sad. That's one of the main reasons I moved here. It's a beautiful community, and up until this, I used to tell people, man, it's the perfect place to raise a family. A great place to raise a family. And with not knowing anything right now with this whole situation, I don't want to say that to anybody.
What's the population of the trailer park itself?
10 miles
It's
away.
tiny.
And now this.
Montezuma is like 1,500 people, right?
Yeah. Give or take, yeah. It doesn't look that big, though.
Yeah, it's
everybody,
really small.
Everybody really knows each other, and everybody, are there specific groups of kids around there that party that might allow an outside influence in by proxy kind of thing that may be in the area? Does anybody know any new individuals, a new circle of friends?
You've either got, they're like, well, Xavier's 11, so it's about 11 or so age group down to the younger ones, and elderly, like late 40s and up, I'd say. There's not a lot of partying in the trailer court. Don't get me wrong, there has been a few parties, but nothing.
Just
and all the
blue collar workers.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just families trying to get by.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, God darn it.
I actually call it the trailer hood.
Yeah.
I call it trailer hood because it's like the hood of Montezuma. It's the low income area of town. It's honestly the only place that you can rent in our town, in our community, that most families can afford.
Okay.
If you're not buying a house, you're in the trailer court.
Okay.
There's not a whole lot of commercial space.
First, that had a lot to do with this case, and I could tell. His vigil is what really woke my eyes up to it. I was doing an interview with the news crew, and by the time I was done with that 10-minute interview, I turned around, and this whole group of people had showed up. But as I turned around and I'm looking at this group, and I don't mean to titleize any of y'all know I love you, but we're all the low class. We come from, the bad side of the tracks. We're bad past, we're mistakes from history. We're not rich. We don't own our houses. That's the group that came out for the vigil. And it's like it took a minute for everybody to kind of come in and come together, despite where this young man came from.
See, but what bothers me about that is he's a kid. This isn't a meth lab owner who goes missing. This is a child who doesn't have a say in what family is born into and isn't old enough to make choices on his own as far as, I'm going to choose to go buy a house. So I think it's disgusting if people rule that out based on his age alone because it's not his fault.
Yep. Yeah. It's, and everybody's, what happened? Do you think this? Do you think that? Well, what about? First and foremost, biggest question is, where is Xavier? How do we get him home? What happened? I don't know what happened. I don't know that I want to know what happened. I just want to know
he's home.
That he's at peace.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's at peace, whether he's happy and alive or not. I just want to know that he's not suffering. It's not. I want him home. I want him, and I want him happy, and I want his friends to be able to say Xavier's coming down the road in his life.
Yeah.
The kids at the trailer court are really struggling as well. They were a tight little group over there.
Wow.
But yeah, I've been talking
another question.
That first week I was kind of, going over and having, sporadic conversations with them, the kids, and I, just like, well, you and Xavier ever talk about, anything? You guys have a secret place, like fishing for information. Because, the kids are comfortable with me. They know me. They don't know these law enforcement officers or, but nothing turned up or come out of that. But a lot of love and a lot of friendship with Xavier. So if you're out there, Xavier, you hear this. Everybody misses you, buddy.
Has someone, I know AB has a couple more questions, but I have two as well. Did Xavier mention someone that you hadn't heard before recently or anything like that?
No.
Not at all?
No, nothing like that. Not at all. Sarah hadn't even mentioned anybody that I wasn't aware of, I guess. But, you know, like I said, I'm not best friends. It's not like I knew every aspect of her life. I didn't even know about Xavier's dad until Xavier went missing.
Okay.
So, I mean, he never said anything like that, no. He never said that he was afraid of anybody. He never said that, you know, he was scared. Or he never even had made a comment to me about living with me like the other neighbors said. So, I don't know.
Okay. And I want a big correction. When I said I had you, Samantha, on my mind, and I said that AB was doing some fantastic work for Samantha Wells, I meant Summer Wells, but I had you on my mind because I said Samantha. So AB, AB, go ahead.
Oh, the question which I had to do, and I know it's kind of reiterating the same old question probably from earlier on in the conversation, but for the sake of myself in this moment, the mother, at this point, am I right in understanding that she is refusing to talk or even make a comment in regards to this situation?
She's no longer cooperating.
Yeah, she has not. I haven't talked to her since 4 days after he went missing. The law enforcement states that she's cooperating with them. But I don't know. You know, like I said, we haven't heard anything really from anybody in almost 2 weeks.
So if we wanted to contact her, should we contact the sheriff's department to contact her directly, to maybe if she wants to talk to behind the scenes where she's comfortable to say something in public? Maybe for some reason she's wanting to avoid being in the public eye for whatever reason.
I have offered that for her many, many times. Actually, the vigil, I had called her and messaged her prior and told her, you know, is there anything that you want the public to know? Is there anything, if Xavier can see this, is there anything you want him to hear? And she didn't say anything. She didn't respond with nothing. I don't know. I don't know that the sheriff's department would even be able to help you with that one, but that would be my suggestion.
Does his mother suffer from any mental illness, or is she diagnosed, or is she on any medication that you know of?
I'm sure she's on something. And I'm
and
sure
if so,
something as well. She's got a bubbly personality. She's kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
Bubbly, like, I don't know. She's just, I don't know how to explain it. Yeah, I would guess that she's probably diagnosed and probably supposed to be taking medication.
Has Trevor said anything about what he thinks could have happened, or no?
I have not heard Travis say anything about what he thinks may have happened.
Okay.
Like I said, I've seen the post that he put on there with him in the t-shirt. I've seen him put a post up thanking everybody for everything everybody's doing. Other than that, that's about all that I've personally, encountered from Travis, the dad.
Wow.
So, I mean, really, it's everything that's going on for Xavier right now has been the community. And I personally cannot thank them enough, because you're not just supporting Xavier here, you're supporting the people that care for Xavier as well.
Exactly.
And like I know Xavier's grandpa. He came back from working out of state when Xavier went missing.
Okay.
He went back as soon as he found out. He was here for the first week. Another thing that, I didn't realize until this is how impacted the families are in these cases. Because, their child's missing, they're out there looking for them. They're missing work. The bills don't stop.
Hey, that's true.
And so this grandpa was just faced with, do I get on the road and go back to work to pay my bills so I don't lose my house? Or do I stay here and search for my missing grandson? And unfortunately, he had to go back to work.
Absolutely.
And so, it's like seeing the depth of something like this, because you never in a million years imagined that this would happen in your town, to your neighbor, to
That's true.
your son's friend,
That's very true.
And it's been a big eye-opener on a lot of things. Terrifying for the most part. But also reassuring in a way, just because of the way the community is coming together. Like, seeing the love in people that have never even met him or heard of him. And they've got his sign on their car, their sign in their yard. Their porch light is orange. That first night that he was missing, Thursday night, when about an hour after I made contact with the police, as soon as it got dark, driving through Montezuma, it was almost musical. It was like the husbands, the only way I can explain it is, it was like the husbands were in the driver's seat, the wives were in the passenger seats, with their flashlights out the window, hooting and hollering Xavier's name. And all through town, that's all you could see and hear was flashlight and cars driving super slow up and down the street, and everybody hollering for Xavier. And the town has been searched very, very thoroughly. I mean, law enforcement's been through my home personally 4 different times.
Wow.
So, I continue to just want to thank everybody, for being cooperative and cooperating with this. I know that it can be intrusive and, inconvenient at times. But then I just try to remind people, what if that was your son or your cousin?
Absolutely.
Or your neighbor, and the people around here are great. I hope we figure something out soon. I just really hope that somebody tells us something soon.
Are the cops doing interviews at all? Because I haven't seen any. Like I said, I'll come down there early. I'll go right to the police station and try to get answers. It's really frustrating to me that they just like basically walked away from this kid, and that's
what it looks like. That's what it looks like to everyone, And I don't think that I can't say that I don't think they understand it or they don't see it, because they're hearing us. We're complaining. They're hearing us complain about this. But why aren't you, just tell us something? Even if it's, hey, we're doing our job, shut up.
Is it possible that they stopped looking because mom moved? And it's out of their jurisdiction, like they just don't care anymore?
Well, it can't be out of their jurisdiction, because if she moved to New Sharon, that would still go.
Same place?
County or Mahaska County.
Okay. Who did she move with?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know?
No, like I said, I've been pretty much out of the loop for about a week now. Minus the groups and the volunteers for him. When it comes to the family and law enforcement, nothing in a week.
Wow.
And that is unsettling. So yeah, I'm going to try to touch base with the FBI agent tomorrow morning. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to the jail or the sheriff's department and just going to see if there's somebody I can talk to. I mean, yeah, I don't know what else.
And like I said, you have all our help. I mean, I am because my son is in Davenport for the summer, it's when I heard about him, I was like, oh my God, that's not far from Dayton. And it just, Iowa is my second home, and it really just hit home because, you know, I don't know. It's things happen in Iowa, and I take it very personal. My son is a, you know, diehard Hawkeye fan, and I take it personal. I do. And that's why this case strung out to me more than anything.
Yeah. I mean, I'm born and raised, you know, my whole life, and I would never dream of moving anywhere else, you know.
It's a great state. People underestimate it. It really is a good state.
It is, and hey, man, we supply most of y'all corn.
They don't have a football team, but they're still a good state.
Yeah, I know. One of these days.
AB, did you have any more questions?
I know, I'm terribly sorry. I just have some fantastic updated news in the background. I'm kind of secondary. I might have to go for an update on my own channel.
Okay.
Some things are occurring in the background that are good news in parallel to this. But no, my questions are good, and thank you very much, caller. I was sorry, I was distracted a bit, but I was listening in.
That's okay. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, I do. I'm gonna second what AB just said as well, but I wanted to know if she could explain his personality and his characteristics and his traits to us. If you were to describe Xavier and his personality, the way that he is as a kid, how would you describe him?
Very joyous.
Okay.
Happy for being a child that has, I mean, he's clearly been through things. He's clearly struggled in life. He's clearly experienced things that probably, you know, a boy isn't supposed to, you know, have to deal with. But for him to have whatever life that he has had, that I'm, you know, to smile every day to smile. That boy smiles, and it's contagious. And you could be having the worst day of your life, and you sit down, and Xavier walks in the room, man, he'll put his hand on your shoulder, and he'll just be like, "What's wrong?" And it's like this warm comfort just comes over you, and you can't help but do anything but smile. And that's all Xavier ever does. You hardly ever see that kid without a smile on his face.
Wow.
Very, very smart. He loves learning. He loves to learn new things. I can't tell you some of the oddest, weirdest things that he's taught me.
What kind of things? What
was that?
What kind of things was he into? Was he into gaming? Was he into building things with his hands? Was he, was he just intelligent when it came to being book smart? What did he like to do?
I can't say that he was into gaming too much, because anytime that him and Kyle spent together, they're physically playing, whether it's outside, water fights. He loves to look for bugs. He's got a thing for bugs.
Okay.
Yeah, like, you know, your average boy.
Right.
And we've got books. You know, he loves reading. Him and Kyle play school a lot.
School, okay.
But YouTube videos about sea creatures seems to be a big thing between Kyle and Xavier.
So does he like marine life? He liked ocean life?
Yeah, I mean, critters, animals, life, life,
Okay.
life, different species of life. He can tell you things about, you know, the way that they mate and reproduce to, you know,
Wow.
the babies, he kills the boy. And you're like, oh, well, that's an interesting fact, but he thinks it's amazing. You know, he was very, very caring, very, very caring. I mean, he would help anybody. If you were struggling with a box or a door or something, Xavier would just jump in and help you.
I'm sure that comes from caring for his mom, right? Being a caretaker at such a young age for a parent that might have a limitation. I'm sure he's probably like that a lot.
Be a bit of a stretch. I think caretaker might be a tad bit of a stretch. I mean,
A stretch, okay.
take care of her. He doesn't have to provide everything for her, you know. But I'm sure it's, you know, she can't reach something or she needs something. It's Xavier, get me this. Or carrying things I know she needs help with. And so he was kind of raised around that, you know. And he had big brother Josh was there too.
Big brother.
You know, now it's just Xavier. So,
do you know how his older brother is reacting to this?
I don't. I have not been able to touch base with Josh. I know he was in town for a day or two after Xavier went missing. I'm not sure in regards to him since. My stepson has been in contact with Josh, though. And he said that Josh was out hanging posters. This was just Saturday. Saturday, Josh was out hanging posters. And that he's just trying to find his brother, I guess. I continue to try to reach out to this family, you know, and, you know, somebody needs to get out there, and y'all should be doing this.
I agree.
Not me.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, I will continue to, you know, because it's not just about Xavier and it's my son, you know, that's what's got me in this.
Can I ask you, I apologize, I don't want to cut her off. Did Xavier's mom, was she the type of mom to drive him where he needed to go, or did she make him walk? Did she cook for him at night, every night, or did she make him fend for himself? Like, what kind of environment was it for him, in your opinion?
Questions, you know. I've seen her cook. I've seen him make his own meals. I've seen him on his bike and walking. I've seen her drive him.
Hold on. That's another thing I wanted to ask you before, and I forgot. He had a bike, and everybody in the neighborhood said that he drove, you know, up and down the trailer park in his bike. But yet that day, his bike was still in the house when he disappeared.
No. It was not in the house. It was laying in the yard. Okay, and so first flag when I pulled it into trailer court was that the bike was laying down on the ground. And Xavier was very particular about putting it up on a kickstand. Two, he would never leave it laying outside. I mean, Sarah would instill it in him, and you know, stolen bicycles. If you leave it outside, somebody's going to take it. He would always put it in the house. That was what really, something's wrong here, you know, because this isn't Xavier. Laying his bike on the ground like that, his bike laying out, that's not Xavier.
That's interesting, though. That has to be tied in somehow.
Like, yeah, that's, and I mean, me just as a friend, a family friend outside of it, I knew that. I noticed that. So why didn't Mom sooner than 12 hours? You know? I don't.
So
I have a lot of questions that I don't know that I'll ever get the answer to or the understanding.
So the bike was there on Thursday morning outside?
It was, well, I can vouch for it. Thursday evening after 4:30, and it was laying in the yard. Then,
but you don't know if it was there prior to that.
Right. I don't. Because she didn't call me until after 4 o'clock.
All right, this is going to sound like an insanely weird question. Is it possible that somebody put him on the back of a bike and drove him, let's say, to Route 80 where a car took him? Or outside of the trailer park?
I'm just like walking around the trailer court in my head, for bicycle pass. The only path out of that trailer court, besides the main drive in, is there is a walk path that runs literally right between Sarah's trailer and the next trailer, which is Xavier's little friend, the little girl.
Okay.
So the walk path through those two trailers, and you walk back there, and then you can branch off and either go straight to the storage units, or it takes you off in a driveway. You walk up the driveway like a house length maybe, and you're on the street, the side street. Excuse me, I just got a hiccups. But you have the storage shed, and then on the other side of the trailer court, which would be the north side, between each trailer, there's a little bit of a gap, and then it's just like an open grass field to the driveway of the lumberyard that sits next door. That would be easy access, I guess, but you would have to go in front of every trailer, between her trailer and that field over there.
Is it?
And the trailer court never stops moving, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
There's always somebody up. There's always somebody out. There's always somebody doing something. Like, it's just near impossible for me to comprehend how nobody's seen anything, how nobody heard something, how nobody seen something that wasn't normal. When I lived there, I could tell you who was coming just by the sound of their vehicle. You know what I mean? Like, somebody had to have heard or seen something. They may not realize it, but somebody knows something. Somebody did something.
See, that's why I think that it happened in the middle of the night. I think that somehow he got out of the house, and that's why I'm trying to think of different scenarios. The bike. Somebody put him in a duffel bag and a bike to get him to outside of the trailer park area. Something like that.
Right. Yeah, I'm in agreement. I've been trying to say that I think he went missing at night from the beginning.
Yeah, I really do. I think he absolutely went in the beginning. I think he absolutely had gone missing the night before. I don't even believe Mom's story about the time frame.
Right, and then you've got the wandering off in the water. Like, Xavier's been out swimming at someone I know. They have a house out at Lake Ponderosa. He's been out there swimming multiple summers, multiple times.
Okay.
That little boy knows his swimming capabilities. He knows about life vest. I can't see him as wandering to the water and even accidentally falling in. I can't see him getting that close to the water without his life vest. And she agrees with it. She's like, Xavier would never go to the water without his vest on. And so it's like, well, I want to think that I know him well enough to say this, but then, what if this is that one time for Xavier? What if he did walk off? What if he did run off for a minute? Like, I'm trying not to close anything out, but I'm also trying not to just zone in on one, theory.
See, what's so sad to me, though, is this is like the perfect example of, what's the word I'm looking for? I want to say class discrimination, but the perfect example of how this innocent 10-year-old, 11-year-old now is just, they stopped looking for him, probably because of money, because of, he's in that lower class of society, and it's surprising, but that's what it seems to me like, that we as a public need to put pressure on, because that might be the only way that this kid is ever found.
Yes.
And not another statistic.
I 100% agree. And you know, coming from low class myself, it's like, what if something happened to me?
Exactly.
You know? Like, would you guys look for me? Like, it's sickening. It makes me sick to my stomach when I put all of that into concept. You know what I mean? That manpower is not out here. The awareness isn't out here because he's just some kid from the trailer hood.
Yep.
You know. But he's not. You know, and that's why
I agree.
at the vigil, you know, I want people to know who Xavier is. He's not just a face on a piece of paper. He's not just a description on a social media post. This is a bright, beautiful, loving, amazing young man.
Innocent too.
Life in front of him.
It's not his fault what he was born into.
Exactly. It's not his fault. He needs our help. If anybody's doing anything for anybody, do it for Xavier. He's an 11-year-old helpless little boy.
Yep.
Like, and I mean, if that's all I can ask is just that people continue to spread his face, to share his story, and to bring awareness. And I'm hoping we have a benefit. I don't know if I sent that to you.
I posted it. I had Tiffany post it. I told AB to post it. I told Molly to post it. On the 29th, there is a big shindig in Iowa at the Poweshiek County Fairgrounds. And they're having a live band, live music, all to raise money for Xavier and finding Xavier.
Yes. I mean, if y'all want to party, Iowa, a country concert at that. We got Adam Whitehead and Hunter Mason, I believe is his name. But it's a great cause with great people. I'm super excited about this for the simple fact is that it's going to be the first chance that I get to meet a lot of Xavier's angels that I have been in touch with over the last couple of weeks. I'm super excited to meet some of these ladies. Like,
that's awesome.
They have touched my heart and my life in ways that they'll never understand. And I mean, it's just, I'm really looking forward to seeing. I really hope, you know, that we have a good outcome, that we really get, you know, support, and even just people showing up, and that's just showing us that you're thinking about him.
I agree.
He's fine, and that's what we want. That's what we need.
I can air it live if you want to call me from it.
That'd be awesome.
Okay, I could do that.
Awesome. Yeah. I haven't quite figured out exactly what all the details are. I just know that it's 7 to 9 p.m.
Okay.
It's going to be fun time. Fun time to just kind of bring everybody up to date and everybody together. Will be nice. I'm hoping his family comes and they, you know, but I can hope, I guess. That's all we have now. All we have left is hope.
I say we put some pressure on law enforcement, because this is ridiculous.
Yes,
Tiffany, I know Tiffany had a couple questions. She just didn't want to interrupt.
No, you're fine.
Well, okay, so in order to get more eyes on Xavier, I don't even know about putting more pressure on law enforcement, because I don't know what kind of, I don't know what kind of state it is there with law enforcement, what it's like, but if you can get Xavier's name into the search engines, like all of the people in the groups for Xavier, go plug his name into Twitter. I always tell this to people. I did it with Cash, with Summer. Put his name into Twitter, search his hashtags, put his name into Facebook, all the Google, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, whatever it might be, because if you start putting his name into search engines, it's going to bring him out more into the forefront when it comes to public interest. But did they have any canines searching for him?
Yes, they did. They didn't come up with anything from it.
Did they say
Really?
where the trail ended with the dogs?
Not specifically. My understanding was, I'm not quite sure if they had planned the search in relation to said search, or if it just coincided with each other. You know, they said search first, and then we went and searched the lake. But I know the scent search came first, and then search of Diamond Lake.
What's the name of the lake?
Diamond Lake.
Diamond Lake. Okay.
Yes. And there's actually, we have two lakes here. You got the city of Montezuma, then you have Diamond Lake, and then Lake Ponderosa. Lake Ponderosa is a private lake.
Okay.
And so Diamond Lake, there's a lot of deep timber through there. My son, who is now 14, he actually had a fort built out in the woods out there, I guess, for over 2 years, and nobody knew. So if that, gives you an idea on the depth of how deep these woods can get. I don't know. Something keeps drawing me to Diamond Lake, and I don't want it to be like, I don't know. I'm stuck. Like I've been out looking myself. It's a lot of ground to cover, and we didn't search the whole lake. We searched the section of behind the trailer court to the lake, but nothing around the lake. Fox Forest is right across the street from the lake. It's a nature reserve area. That's where I know Xavier's been mushroom hunting through there. I don't think that's been searched fully. There's a lot of ground in a lot of area that we can still be searching. And that's why I get frustrated when they tell me, we've checked the area of interest. So move the area of interest. If that didn't give you anything, look somewhere else. Like if you lost your car keys, you're not going to stop looking, and you're going to flip everything and find everything for them. So why aren't we doing that with this young boy?
I agree. And these are all the states that have flyers. All those states have flyers. But Kendra, as far as if someone wants to donate money, where would it go? The police station?
Montezuma State Bank is who is taking care of all of that for the reward.
But a bank is taking care of it.
Everything goes to the Montezuma State Bank. Otherwise, any other donations that anybody wants to, I've been forwarding them to the company that's making our shirts and buttons, and the ladies that are helping make our flyers and our signs. Because each person that's out here doing this is all volunteer. We are all pitching in, out of our own. And these ladies that are making these shirts and these buttons and these flyers, I'm sure that they could use the help, and so just trying to forward things to where it needs to go, and trying to make sure that the public knows that no money is being handed over to the family. No money is being given out like that.
Yeah, I heard.
A fund that is set up by the city with the city bank. And so everything's legit. Nobody needs to worry about that. But I understand too.
Yeah, but I read that nobody, and thank you, Dre. I read that they don't want, nobody wants to donate money to a GoFundMe because they don't trust any of the people involved.
Well, and I understand not trusting the people involved. You look at anybody's rap sheet, shit, you look at mine, if I was an outsider, I wouldn't be like, oh, well, she's credible, but at the same time, the reward money is only given with some to whoever provides a lead that causes or creates the location of Xavier. So it's not like you can't send in a tip and everybody's going to get paid. That money doesn't go anywhere until Xavier is found or something.
Okay.
So, I mean, but I understand the public too, you know, especially in today's crazy world. Who can you trust?
That's true.
But I've been trying to clarify that, you know, that's not a GoFundMe page. It's not anybody's personal or private accounts. The reward fund is set up through the city and the city bank.
And the mom hasn't done anything.
Not that I'm aware of. She hasn't put one plea out for him. One, I love you. I don't know that she hung flyers. I don't know that she's even reposted him.
Wow. Yeah, she's not on her Facebook posting anything. She doesn't even have a picture of him.
I know. And at first I was kind of like, I understand that you haven't seen Josh in a while. I understand that, you know, Josh hasn't been home or whatever, whatnot. But still, the picture would be of my missing child.
Absolutely. 150%.
Yeah. It's
like, that would be my only thought. I would almost feel guilty as a parent that I could not concentrate on my other children because I would only be thinking about this one. You know what I mean?
Believe it or not, I struggle with that at times right now with my family. My daughter's, you know, in softball. She's softball 5 days a week. I mean, I budget 4 kids. My grandfather, who's been my best friend, passed away a week after Xavier went missing. So between Xavier and my grandfather, I've been through hell.
I'm so sorry. So sorry.
When I let my pappy go, you know, I told him, I said, if you see that little booger up there running around, you better tell me.
Exactly.
Like, you know, and it's trying to find that balance. I can't imagine how it hurts so much to be just like this. I can't imagine how much I would hurt if it was really one of my children, you know? But I mean, it's a child. He's innocent.
I agree.
Defend him. He can't protect himself. He can't provide for himself.
3 weeks already. He didn't just disappear. He didn't run away. And if he did run away, he probably didn't make it unless he jumped on 180 and jumped on Route 80 and is living in Florida with someone. I mean, and with all the coverage, I can't imagine that that's the case, but crazier things have happened.
Yeah, you know, and that's the thing, you know, you start thinking, you know for sure on one way, and then you're just like, maybe it was Xavier's first time running away.
Yeah.
You know? And so, 11, you know, that age, the thoughts and the mind process and the comprehension of feelings and emotions and everything, you know,
what makes me wonder though is, okay, so even if mom didn't kill him, all right, let's assume mom didn't kill him and that she wouldn't do that. The fact that she's taken this so lackadaisical tells me that maybe he is alive and she knows exactly where he is. Maybe she gave him to somebody for a while. Maybe he's...
On that note, real quick, have you heard about the party that the family had after he went missing?
No, I did not hear about a party.
Okay, apparently I got a phone call. Let's see what it was. I want to say Sarah wasn't talking to me until it was after 4 days of Xavier missing, but it was like a week maybe.
Okay.
I had a phone call, and it's from the neighbor of the trailer court. He says, Sam, did they find that boy? And I was like, no, not that I've heard. Why? He says, well, are you sure they didn't find him? Because Sarah's having a party over at her place. They're
Wow.
all laughing and giggling. And there was a video, but I don't know. I haven't been able to find it since.
Wow.
But with the video, I mean, it. Once again, everybody copes differently. That it appeared to me as a party, not a grief session. You know, it just that really threw me off with the family, because then it kind of made me think, you know, well, does the family know something too?
Wow. No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So how do you comprehend that? How does that make? Because not everybody in a family is gonna cope and react the same way.
Absolutely. But you're not going to have a party.
Right. I've had bonfires after both of my grandparents, my grandmother and my grandfather, after they passed away. Our families, we get together, we have a bonfire. Yes, we drink a little bit,
Yeah.
but we're not out in the street dancing and hooting and hollering and having a good old time. You know, we're pretty much more or less drinking ourselves to the sadness stage where we're crying. You know,
I do.
not like theirs portrayed.
That's
So
crazy.
That's been puzzling me even more, with the family not saying anything.
Wow. How could they have a party? Your son is missing.
Yeah, that's the last thing I'm thinking of. That's the last thing, I mean, at all. You know? I don't know. I like I said, there's so many I don't know.
Wow. That is so crazy.
Yep. It's bizarre. I just don't get it. I mean, physically, she cannot physically, if an accident or something did happen, I do not believe she is physically capable of disposing of him or something. She would have to have help.
So it has to be with her new boyfriend.
Yeah, whoever. Yeah, I didn't know anything about a new boyfriend until Xavier went missing.
Now, someone just said that Xavier was scared of the dark. Is that true?
Yes, terrified of the dark.
Okay, so then there's no way he would have left on his own.
Right, not at night anyway. You know. So then, I jumped out the morning, at daylight. And the people I know that live on the lane that he lives on, and their work schedules and all that, there's a very, very slim chance that he moved during that time without being seen. And nobody's seen him.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's puzzling. Puzzling, absolutely puzzling.
And Sam, you know what even freaks me out more? If not for you, nobody may even know this kid was missing. She could have left the next day and say, oh, he's with his dad or something. And nobody would ever know.
I thought about that. If I would have just went home and not paid attention and listened to my gut, how long till somebody else noticed that he was gone, He could have been missing forever and nobody knows.
Exactly.
And so that's another thing that leads me to kind of being stuck between Sarah knowing something about it and not, because of anybody that I know that she knows, and all of us in that little, group or whatever, I am loud. Like, I would be the last person I would want to call to involve in a situation that I don't want nobody knowing about. Seriously. Like, I don't get it. Like, so I'm stuck on that, Like,
maybe she didn't think you would ever call the police, though. Maybe she just figured you would be like, all right, no biggie.
Right. And then I'm thinking there, but I mean, I'm a pretty hard-headed Like, you know,
I hear
I
you.
just, why don't you call me if that doesn't make sense, you know? I mean, nothing makes sense in this, but it's, yeah, one thing after another. I don't know what to think. I don't know which way to go. I don't know where to look. I don't know how to feel. I just know that I feel lost.
I can imagine.
And terrified. Lost, terrified.
Are you scared at all? Not
that?
for him. I mean, about the mom being involved or them coming after you or something or anything.
Have I what?
Like, are you scared of the mom doing something to you or the mom's boyfriend or anything like that? Like, I don't want you to feel like you're in danger at all.
No. I'm like like I said, I'm a pretty tough broad. I'm not. I was raised on the streets, you know.
Okay.
So I'm not. I've received threatening messages. I've received threatening phone calls. I respond with the same text message. You know, I have done nothing but try to respect Sarah and Xavier's family.
Exactly.
Xavier. I'm sorry, but I will not stop. I will not shut up. I will not let people forget. And I won't. You know, I've been, you know, I keep the law enforcement included and updated, you know, if I get a threat from anything, just so that they're aware if ever there was or is a situation. But I don't think I'm not worried about it. No, I'm not scared.
Okay. Just I don't want you to feel scared either. I mean, not that I don't know what I would do from here, but I'm just saying I just want to make sure that you don't feel, you know, like your life is in danger. They're going to do something. Or was the threat, was the text from the mom?
I'm going to be honest. There's been, you know, a morning, a time or two, a day or two, you know, where I've gotten up and I come out to my vehicle for the first time of the day and I've kind of thought to myself, well, I wonder if anybody slashed my tires last night.
Yeah.
You know? Like, there has been, you know, a couple days of that, but other than that, I'm not, I mean, really, what is coming after me going to do? He's already out there. The world already knows he's missing.
That's true.
So, you can try to shut me up all you want, but it's still not going to stop Xavier's voice from being heard. You know? So, I'm not worried. And I tell you, if they come after me, they're gonna have a fight. It'll be a fun one.
I cannot for the life of me think that the mom is not involved. And I don't say that often. I've covered other missing people. I don't say that often. There's something about this one that the mom has to be involved with. The mom telling you, you know, oh, why you don't have to call the police. Why wouldn't you call the police? Like, I can't get past that.
That, and then telling me to don't worry about him anymore tonight.
Exactly.
When you wake up. Like, what the?
It's too strange.
You can yell at me because of a color that, just to make it clear, I had nothing to do with to begin with. But you can't get out there and plead for your son.
Exactly. And not wanting EquiSearch involved, or the whole thing just is so weird.
I have to just put a phone call into them today. I'm hoping that they get in touch with me. I don't know much about them. But there's two groups a lady sent me links to. It was EquiSearch and I want to say Adventures for Purpose, or Adventures with Purpose, something like that. We have a lot of water around us. So when it comes to searching,
okay,
we have a lot of water. And so one of these groups is supposed to be a water-based search group. We have a lot of ponds. We have multiple lakes. So I don't know. I feel that we've got to cover this ground around us, and we haven't. And I've just kind of pretty much, all I can do is keep looking in my free time. It's not working my kids, you know?
Wow.
And if I don't, then I'm stuck sitting at home thinking about where I could be looking.
Absolutely.
what could have happened, and that'll eat you alive. It doesn't help that I'm fucking super ADHD.
Me too.
I can't sit still. It's driving me crazy. I can't believe I've sat in this truck this long. I haven't gone outside and walked around or something.
Wow.
So, that's kind of given me a little bit more, because I've already got an abundance of energy. And so they try to just coop me up at home. That's not happening. I've got to be boots on the ground on it. And I've been contemplating on whether just literally gathering and trying to organize my own little search group system,
You need law enforcement on your side, though. They're the ones with the resources. I mean,
I know.
you can definitely look locally. Like I said, I'll be out there the week of the July 20th, the week 15th to the 20th. I can definitely meet with you. I can help you. I can get flyers, put them all over Quad Cities, and see what we can do. And hopefully he'll be home by then. Hopefully we'll have answers by then. But if not, definitely I can definitely help. We'll do something, because this not knowing is just crazy. And then winter's gonna come, and everything's gonna freeze up, and
and it rained so hard that night that you go out anywhere and everything is wet and muddy, and you can't follow tracks, you can't see anything, you can't nothing. It's just been one obstacle after another, or one question leads to 10 more questions.
Yeah. I want answers from the cops. I want to know why they're not actively looking, why they don't care. It bothers me.
Right. Because if you're not out here searching for him, then what do you know?
Exactly.
What's keeping you from being out here searching for him?
Yep.
They have to know something, because otherwise we would still be physically looking for him, right?
Does she have any ties to police at all?
Not that I am aware of, no.
I just can't imagine. I just really can't imagine why. I'm gonna call them and ask them, or just go there when I come down there to get my son, and I'm just gonna be like, why are you not doing anything? News reporters have covered it. Why are you not looking? What do you know? There's just because people don't have money doesn't mean their kids deserve to go missing.
Right. I was down in Des Moines, which is it's about an hour from where we're at, straight up I-80. I was down in Des Moines the first weekend Xavier went missing. I was down every day visiting my grandpa in the hospital, bouncing back and forth between looking for Xavier and doing stuff for him, my full-time job, and Pappy. And people down in Des Moines at the hospital and everything, they hadn't even heard about it yet.
Wow.
And that's when I came home, and I just sat down and I got on my phone, and I just started emailing every news company and social media, and reached out to anybody I knew that was always on their phones. Put this out there. Get this out there. Tell your friends to share it, post it, send it on. And it's just, and I even brought it up. I think it was at the vigil. How many people were out searching for Molly Tibbetts by day 3?
Exactly.
And how many people were out searching for Xavier by day 3?
It's very true.
I hate to, and listen, I feel for that family. I do. I feel for Molly's family and friends. This is opening old wounds. The day Xavier went missing happens the same day that her killer was convicted.
Wow.
And so, I know this is opening up old wounds that aren't healed yet. But I also feel that, that shines a lot of light onto, my big problem here is, society categorizing people, and I feel that they are punishing this child.
Oh, absolutely.
For things that have been out of his control. Just
Yep.
because his parents or his parents' friends or whatever, whatnot, are the way that they are, has nothing to do with this little boy.
I agree.
If anything, that should make people want to help more, because he doesn't have. Who does he have?
Exactly. And it doesn't send a good message to other people in the area. Like, oh, okay, we can get rid of our kid and they're not even going to bother looking because we're just lowlife. So they could care less. And it's sad, but that's the message the cops are sending out, whether they realize it or not.
Right.
And that's a horrible message for anybody.
Yeah, like, this town, I used to go back home, talk to friends and stuff, and be like, man, it's the appropriate place to raise a family. I can't say that now.
Yeah.
This is terrifying. Is it's just some chance it happened here and it happened to us. It doesn't feel safe right now.
I can imagine.
I know a lot of residents feel that way. It just needs some form of communication. We need some update. We need some reassurance.
I agree. 100% agree. And maybe the only thing I could think of, and it was said in the chat, and they're right, and I know this from living off I-80 in Davenport. I wonder if they assume that he got to 180. I mean, I say 180 because that's here. That he got to Route 80 and he was picked up by a truck driver, or he would have. There's no way he would have gotten. I can't see. It's got to be pretty near impossible for him to get from the trailer court to I-80 without being seen by someone that would have reported a young boy walking down that highway. Okay.
Malcolm is Interstate 80, and so there's an 8-mile stretch. And Xavier's not a walker. He doesn't want to walk places that's far distances. And when I say far distances, I'm talking about anything farther than 3 blocks. So I can't see that plausible. I think if he was taken and abducted, my scenario, my most out the backside of the trailer court, the storage shed unit path, because that's the only way that nobody in the trailer court would have not seen. It's dark. I don't know about camera footage back there. And I think somebody would have had to have helped. That's not Sarah, And so, if he was abducted, did they come into her trailer while she was sleeping and take him? Did he get up bright the next morning and go outside and get taken then? I don't know.
Wow. I don't know. Here's in my gut. My heart of hearts.
Have you ever followed a case like this that's been this confusing, complicated?
Not that the cops weren't invested in it.
My language, quite frankly, bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I haven't covered anything that the cops were this lackadaisical unless they were corrupt. And I mean, this isn't the same kind of corruption, but my heart of hearts, my gut tells me that he was killed in the house. He's either buried somewhere in the area, either behind those storage sheds, under the storage sheds. Like, I would be looking for any dirt holes, anywhere that look like it's new, crawl spaces, anything like that. Like, that's where my gut tells me.
My other question was, so they did the search team with the scent dogs. They dropped the divers in the lake. They didn't do the whole lake, only certain parts, which I don't understand. But there's no reports, and nobody in the trailer court can tell me of a forensic team going in. Why hasn't anybody gone in and investigated the trailer for a crime scene?
Yeah, I agree.
Or have they?
Well, you would have known. You would have seen them.
That's what I figured. And nobody has seen him. So why? And if she's moved out, why haven't you gone in and checked the trailer for evidence now? She's no longer there. Like, I don't know.
I don't know. I think maybe he's buried somewhere in there. I really do.
I know that they tore all the skirting off of the trailers and looked underneath. They've been through every trailer. They've been through near every single house in Montezuma. Literally. Every house. They went door to door and went through, walking through every bedroom, looking in every closet, everything. Like,
what about James Lowe's camper?
They took it from Stephanie. But I don't know if they took it in regards to Xavier or his prior charges. Because I believe stolen property is one of his things.
I don't know. I just think, I keep thinking of another case. It starts with a B. I can't think of the name. Boswell. And she was missing, and they ended up finding her at the grandfather's crawl space in a trailer. And for some reason, that just keeps popping up with Xavier. Like, whether he's in his own crawl space, a different crawl space, that's to me where he is.
Well, and, Montezuma, it's an old farm town. So I couldn't even imagine the old wells that are probably around, all the tiny little holes and crevices that this little boy could have been stuck or fell into or whatever,
It just pisses me off that the cops are not doing it. Like, okay, you need money, we'll raise money, get it done. Right.
I was watching your last video earlier, and you're talking your most reward funds are already up to hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Exactly.
Xavier's, as of yesterday, has hit like 23 grand.
Yep.
Like, and I understand being skeptical about wanting to send money in and all that, but if that's what it is and that's what it's going to take to get this little boy home, man, then let's do it.
I agree. We'll raise money, just, and especially if the bank is handling it, that's fine. Like, we can raise the money. Just let's get it done. Let's, do what needs to be done to get this kid found, dead or alive.
Yeah. Joy, one of the amazing ladies that's been actually kind of more of a forefront than me. She's been managing everything from Molly's movement.
Okay. Yeah, I saw that.
Okay. Yeah. And so she, unfortunately, has already been kind of through this. And so she's been able to kind of guide and lead a lot of this and the operations, and, the benefit was a lot of her organizing. She's got a bigger reach out than I do here in the community. And so she, and that's why I said, unfortunately, I hate to say this, but, Molly, 3 years ago, these investigators that just came back for Xavier, they've already been here. They already know the people. They already know the land.
No.
So that should have been beneficial. But I feel like they're not using that advantage.
They're definitely not.
It's just the lack of searching is what has got me so mind-boggled. Because you ask us for help and you let us help, and we go out looking one day, and then nothing.
Yeah, because if I contact them and they say, well, it's a money thing, good, we'll get you money. What do you need? We'll raise the money. Tell me what you need to get this done and get it done right,
Yeah, and there's a lot of people that are on the. I mean, everybody's on the same page. Everybody wants to know what happened. Where is he? Like, it's not just. Yeah, we need to find him, and those were the words I used when I went up to that officer. I was like, look, I've been looking for this little boy for over 2 hours. I need help, and we need help. Like,
Absolutely.
we need help. Somebody somewhere knows something, seen something, did something, whether it's mom or stepdad or ex-roommate or a stranger. I don't at all believe that this is a stranger-related incident.
No, definitely not. Not the way mom's acting.
Right. Not the way mom's acting, just not the way everything, else plays into factor. He was not seen at all on Thursday. So that tends you to think it happened at dark at night, Well, about the only people that are going to be in your home at that time of night is going to be people that your mom knows. So...
Yeah. Someone in chat just brought up something that's true. The police don't feel the mom's behavior is odd at all.
I don't understand how they don't. And the investigators that I've spoken to don't agree with it. They think it's odd.
All right, someone with the screen name Find Xavior Harrelson just said, has Samantha heard about the recent abduction attempt at Lake Iowa?
Yes, I have.
What was that? What's that?
I see. I don't know how to access my phone to where I won't. Hey, there we go. Okay, give me 1 second. I'll see if I can't find it. They arrested a gentleman that I believe was from California. He was from California. They arrested him for an attempted abduction. But I believe it came up. They didn't find anything. Let's see here. Molly. I can't. I don't know where it's at. It's on Facebook somewhere, though. Iowa Lake. Maybe this will pop up. This guy. I don't know where it's at. I'll keep looking for it. If I see it, I can post it.
Yeah, let me take a look.
Yes.
Is it the one making homemade chloroform and abduction on June 4th?
I'm gonna assume so. I didn't hear about no chloroform though. What?
Yeah, on June 4th, 2021, police arrested a 20-year-old Iowa man accused of hiding in the back seat of a Nebraska woman's car and using zip ties, duct tape, and homemade chloroform to abduct her and imprison her in a storage shed at his home. That has got to be my biggest fear, is that I get in my car and somebody's hiding in the trunk or in the back seat.
I did not hear any of that.
Yeah, that's my biggest fear. But that happened on June 4th.
Let's see what this one is.
In Sioux City. Dude, that's crazy.
Sumner. Where's Sumner? Okay, so the one you said was in Sioux City?
Yeah.
This one here, I'm just reading this. Let's see. Police warn of attempted child abduction in eastern Iowa. They're sending out warnings to parents and asking the public's help. A female teenager. They have identified the vehicle and driver in this case. He's driving a blue or blue-green pickup. He's trying to entice a 14-year-old to get into the vehicle at the Sumner Public Library. 10:40 a.m. on Tuesday. This was posted June 16th.
Wow.
Yeah, that's all it says, is that they got the guy. I can't say that I've seen this pickup truck, but I'm going to go ahead and snag these pictures of his pickup truck and repost them to see if anybody recognizes him from the trailer court.
Is it possible? I don't know if they've looked or not, but that story just I thought of something. How do they know he's not in one of the storage sheds?
My understanding is that the owner of the storage sheds is also the same owner of the trailer court.
Okay.
And so I'm pretty sure I don't see Mr. Tompkins. He would cooperate every bit with this. So I don't know how they go about that, considering each storage unit would be a personal contract, like a residence, in an apartment building. They wouldn't be able to just go into every apartment. They'd have to get like a warrant for each individual apartment. So I'm assuming that that's what they would have to do with the storage shed unit, unless they contact each owner and get them to whatever, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
I've wondered that too. And this was another question that I've been trying to get to law enforcement this week.
Wow. There was another abduction in Tiffin.
Okay. Tiffin. Yep, I heard about that one.
That was the day before on June 3rd.
What have you heard about, his name is Ryan Larson, I believe. Ryan Larson, he was taken I can't say taken, but vanished on May 17th, 10 days before Xavier. 3 hours down the Interstate 80, pretty much the exact same thing. Parents and family have not talked to media. They have no clue, no lead, no nothing. Same age.
Wow. What's the kid's name?
Ryan something. It's Nebraska. It's right south of Lincoln. What's the name of the town? Let's see here. Ryan. I think Robert's missing. Yeah. Here we go. La Vista.
That was May 23rd.
Well, he went missing on June 17th. See, we got him.
This is an 11-year-old Ryan Larson who's been missing for days as of May 21st. And I don't know if he was found, but there doesn't seem to be anything after.
Yeah, this here, I don't know when this was updated. Oh, this was put on 17th.
All right, let me tell you something. This Ryan Larson, June 7th marks 3 weeks and 11 days since 11-year-old Ryan Larson has been missing.
Yeah. Yep. A 6th grade student was last seen leaving school Monday, May 17th.
Wow.
And and Ryan, has autism.
Yeah.
Neighborhood in the apartment complex report seeing Ryan there shortly after he left school.
Sister says the mother of a missing Nebraska boy is doing something. Ryan Larson's sister, a missing 11-year-old boy, defended her family on social media, saying that criticism was hurtful. She started posting an appreciation of the people. Now, just so you guys know, Nebraska-Iowa border is pretty close. Iowa's very close. Des Moines is very close to Nebraska.
Yep. Yeah, it's a 3-hour drive. A 3-hour drive from where we are right here, and we can be in the other state.
Yeah, this
Straight
is
shot. No stopping.
This is another kid that wouldn't just, an 11-year-old autistic kid, he's not running away in the middle of the night.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And if you read into it, it's pretty much the exact same, except for I don't know like the backgrounds as far as the parents and who's related. I know it's the same as far as he vanished. They don't have any clues or leads. And this isn't typical behavior for him, and the family's not speaking.
Yeah,
And
this is interesting.
If you haven't heard him on social media or on media. I haven't even seen or heard him. Somebody forwarded the missing picture to me in regards to seeing if they were related.
Wow.
And so, you know, I've been forwarding him now just the same as Xavier, because I feel the same for this little guy now. Like, who's you know, these boys, these missing people, they don't have voices to be heard right now.
Exactly.
You know? Somebody has to be that for them. And what happens when, like right now, the family doesn't? They don't have that person to step forward and be, you know, their rock. It scares me because I can only imagine how many people are forgotten.
Oh, I agree.
No.
But it is weird. It's like the same thing. This kid just disappeared into thin air.
Yep, and through the middle of the night. Like, and I mean, he missed his birthday also. Tell me how ironic that is.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
He has epilepsy, Tourette's, and autism. I'm sorry, nobody's taking this kid for a joyride.
Right. You know, not for... Yeah.
And we don't have it yet. This is crazy. It is so similar. And this group only has 2.6 thousand people.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm sorry, but the kids...
Authorities are reviewing and pursuing video from additional businesses looking more closely at sex offenders in the area. Staying in touch with the family. Yeah. Like, still too emotional to speak about her son's disappearance. I would be laying down on the floor, kicking my feet, bawling. I don't care how emotional I would be.
I agree.
I would be trying to get a message out there to my kid to let him know that I love him, and, you know.
I totally agree.
Something I just, it don't make no sense. None of this does. It's insane.
It is insane. Wow.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Wow.
All right. I'm not trying to rush or run off or anything like that at all. I just got a message. My 6-year-old is requesting to be tucked into bed.
Aw, go take care of him. I was going to shut down anyway. But definitely keep in touch. And thank you so much.
Please make sure you get a hold of me when you come to town. I'd love to meet you.
Absolutely. I'll speak to you many times before that, but I definitely will. I'll be in town to pick up my son.
Any questions at all, feel free to reach out. Other than that, I'll keep you posted.
Absolutely. You got my number.
Which lately hasn't been nothing, so.
We're going to put some pressure on Ellie, I promise.
I appreciate it. We appreciate anything and everything that anybody and everybody has done as far as helping. I mean, everything as simple as you just hitting that share button, you know, has been a tremendous help.
Absolutely. So, and I will keep it going.
All I can do is just keep this face out there and keep spreading it and keep them on people's minds.
Absolutely. All right. I will speak to you this weekend.
Have a good night. Thank you. Nice to meet you.
You too. And thank you. All right. I'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. I want to thank her so much for coming up. Even though I did it through the phone, I did see her. But yeah, I can't believe this other case too is like the exact same scenario. It's crazy. And for those of you guys that asked about donating, I don't really have a donation point yet. I'm going to talk to the police department because someone said Montezulu Bank is handling it, and then someone said the police are handling it. So I'll find out. It's one of them. It's one or the other. But there was going to be a GoFundMe, and then people said they wouldn't donate to a GoFundMe. So it will be one or the other. Either the Montezulu Bank or the police department. Oh, you're welcome, William. What are my thoughts, hounds? I think this kid is dead, unfortunately. My gut tells me the mom knows about it or somehow involved in it. And I don't say that often. I truly don't. But in this particular incident, the things that I've seen the mother say and do tells me that she's guilty. It tells me that she is a piece of shit and that somehow she knows what happened to her son. And I cannot even believe there was a party for this kid. I mean, there was a party. In the other cases, I'm not convinced mom was involved. This one, I'm pretty convinced mom's involved. And I'm pretty sure this kid is going to turn up and somehow underneath something, and underneath storage unit, something like that is what my gut tells me. I think he was absolutely murdered that night too. But she is right about I-80. I mean, if you can get to I-80, you're gone. I mean, you could jump in with a truck driver. You can go 20 states and nobody will ever find you. But I'm pretty sure the mom is involved. And I'm pretty positive that he's going to be found underneath something. I'm going to make a special missing candle that is for all missing kids. I'm just not sure how I'm making it yet, because I want to make it kind of like a universal candle, not for each individual one, but I'm not sure what scent I want to use. I'll have to do some research. Yeah, I can't imagine having a party. I just can't. That's just sick. Who was picking up a 10-year-old unless predator? Yeah, but the kid, I'm glad Mommy of 3 brought that up, because I could not imagine. I could not imagine him being afraid of the dark and then thinking that he left on his own. He didn't leave on his own. Not if you're afraid of the dark. You're not leaving in the middle of the night by yourself. It's just not happening. Yeah, Evelyn, I'm going to make one. I got to figure out how I'm going to do the label and stuff, but and what scent I'm going to use. But if he's afraid of and I didn't know that, so thank you, Mommy of 3, but if he's afraid of the dark, he's not. Terrified of the dark, not just scared. Exactly. He's not leaving on his own. He's just not. Another Susan Smith for Amanda Scott. I'm telling you, it's just not happening. I don't think he was child trafficked either. I think he was murdered. I really do. I think he was murdered. And I hate to say it, but my heart of hearts tell me he was murdered in his yard. I mean, in his trailer. And what happened after that is anyone's guess. Maybe mom was partying because, she may have been partying because she's got away with it. But I don't understand why the cops are letting this go. I have a very, very hard time with that. You can't just allow, just because kids, parents don't have money, doesn't mean you just stop looking. What makes one kid different than another kid? What makes Summer any more important than Xavier? where she has everyone looking for him. So why isn't everybody looking for him? I absolutely agree with you. Find Xavier Harrelson. Absolutely. It just doesn't add up. He was a caretaker. You think the boyfriend... Yeah, but nobody really even knows about the boyfriend. That's the problem. It does scream foul play. The mom don't give a shit. Why would the cops not care? That's what I'm saying. Mom has a record of child endangerment and drug charges. Oh, she does? Seems these kids have all similar, but I agree. Mommy of 3, I totally agree with that. Calling him a caretaker is going too far. Okay. But she still helped him. Like, she still needed help. But to have these screaming matches, it's too much. Not if the cops don't pursue it, Elle. That's the problem. If the cops don't pursue it, nothing's going to come of it because the cops aren't going to pursue it. It's horrible. But we're not going to stop. I will figure out what happened to this kid one way or another. I have to go out there in a couple of weeks to get Dayton. I can't believe they didn't search the home either. There has to be a reason. I mean, I don't care if it's my worst enemy, let alone my neighbor. I am not going to tell my neighbor who's trying to help me, oh, you no longer have to look, go get some sleep, honey. Especially if I couldn't look, who would do that? Exactly. Thank God for Samantha. Because if not for her, who knows? Dayton's an hour and 20 minutes. Yeah, Dayton's pretty close. Whole system needs an upgrade. I agree. And the fact that the mom's moved, and I don't care if she got evicted. It's just crazy. Crazy, crazy. So, but I am going to shut down. I've been on like 3 hours. I want to thank AB and Tiffany for coming out. Iowa DHS is horrible. I totally agree with that. Totally agree with that. I don't think so, Val. I am going to try Bonnie because it's crazy. She's exactly. She's on Facebook arguing with Sam, saying how horrible Sam is. Hello, we have screaming match with an 11-year-old. Yeah, doesn't even have a home to come to. I really think that she just wanted to get rid of him. Like, she was getting kicked out and he was a nuisance. You know, he can't take care of himself. She still has to take care of him. Well, now he's gone. Now she doesn't have to worry about him. Now she can go do her thing. That's how I see it. And I don't say that often, but that's totally what my gut tells me. So I'm going to keep this light on for this kid as long as I can. And until we get something, I just want answers. You know, I want answers from the police. Why are you not doing anything? Why are you not searching? You know, I don't think there's anything I can do to find him per se from here, but I definitely want answers. Why the hell these cops are not doing anything? That bothers me. Especially Iowa. And believe me, I have no problem going to the police station and asking them. You know, like, what the fuck? So, trial miserable, but death is not the answer. I agree. So, all right, I will see you guys tomorrow. I know I promised a grand reopening today on the candles. I didn't expect this interview tonight, so we're going to do that tomorrow. I'm going to try and design a missing label tonight. I don't know if I'll be able to do it that quick, but we'll try. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you guys. I know I got a bunch of new members, some super chats. I want to thank you guys. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.